father was an Air Force colonel, and he said, "Son, when I say frog, you jump," and some other harsh terms that I can't repeat in polite company. Anyway, would you like to learn to open a new door in your life?
Yes.
Would you like to experience how powerful your thoughts are? Would you like to do that? I mean, right now? You know, we say things like, penny for your thoughts. Like your thoughts aren't worth much. Worth a penny, 2 cents. And I submit, man, thoughts are so powerful. Your thoughts are so powerful. And to experience that for a moment, right now, would you just simply close your eyes, please? And with your eyes closed, just remember a time when you've seen a lemon. Just remember a time you've seen a big, fat, juicy lemon. And notice remember the color, the bright fluorescent yellow color of the lemon. Perhaps you can see the dimples in the skin as you rotate the lemon. Maybe you can even see that little impression where the lemon was connected to the tree. And now in your imagination, using your powerful imagination, just imagine you have a kitchen knife and cut the lemon in half. Break it open and notice the fat, juicy segments of lemon meat. And perhaps you can see a drop or two of juice exuding from the open wound in the lemon. And notice any seeds, and if the seeds have been cut in half, notice how they're whiter on the inside than they are on the outside. Now bring half the lemon to your mouth and taste lemon. Imagine the odor and the flavor of a ripe, juicy lemon. Now open your eyes. And let's just open your eyes. And now let's just discuss your experience for a moment. How many of you noticed your mouth filling with saliva? Can I see a show of hands? So let's see. Let's just discuss that for a moment, okay? Analyze it. You thought of a lemon. Let's say that this part of the chart has to do with the mind. So you thought of a lemon. Was it a real lemon or an imaginary lemon? Imaginary lemon. You thought of a lemon. Apparently that made an impression on your brain, resulting in a change in your body's chemistry. Does your mouth salivate? Then your body's chemistry changed, which means your brain chemistry changed due to a thought. That's what that demonstrates. Every thought you think makes an impression on your brain. You can't think a thought that doesn't make an impression on your brain. It's impossible. You can't do that. So you make an impression, you think a thought, makes an impression on your brain, and you change in your body chemistry. How quickly? Boom. Just like that. So you think about being upset with someone at work, makes an impression on your brain, it changes your brain chemistry, serotonin levels go down, dopamine levels go down, you get tense. You say, it's just work. It makes me angry. But if you didn't think like that, you wouldn't be angry. So don't blame work, blame your thoughts. Make sense?
Yes.
So, thoughts, very important, very powerful. And, whoops, receipt. Hopefully there's 4 here. Would y'all take one, please, and pass them back? And we want to just study this together a little bit. Pass them around, please. And if you're going to learn to if you're going to learn to control your mind, let's stay on the front part of the page, stay together please, and let's just study the first paragraph. The first thing we need to learn to do is mental house cleaning. It's the first thing we teach in the Silva method. And Sharon, when do we stop mental house cleaning?
You never stop mental house cleaning.
You never stop. You never stop. Never, ever, ever.
Ever, ever, ever.
So, would you read the first paragraph, please?
The brain is much like a computer. The computer doesn't think. It merely carries out instructions, commands, programs that are stored in it. It doesn't question, it acts on the programs, whether we mean them or not. The brain has no sense of humor. The mind reacts to data, information, and responds accordingly.
So the next to last sentence. What was that next to last sentence? The brain has no sense of humor. The brain is like a recorder. It's like an audio recorder or a video recorder. It just records data. Okay? The humor comes from the mind. Okay, Linda, would you read the next paragraph, please?
The quality of our life is determined to a very large extent by the commands, instructions, assumptions, programs that are stored in our brain, within our biocomputer. There is an old saying in the computer business, garbage in, garbage out. This is also true in our lives.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Would you read the next one, please?
The type of material we read, watch on TV or movies, the kind of music and conversations we listen to, the subjects we discuss all have an effect on us.
Dr. Hawkins, we were discussing Dr. David Hawkins earlier before most of y'all came in. And in his kinesiology research, he's found, he said, you know, just watching a TV program with a simple murder on it affects your physiology, and even after the TV is off, for the next 30 minutes, your acupuncture system is out of whack. Your acupuncture system is out of whack. Your brain waves are out, kind of jumbled, and it takes at least 30 minutes for your physiology to return to normal. Okay? So if you're listening, kids are listening to some of this acid rock music, that effect can last for days. For days, and it's brain entraining. He said it's as bad as being addicted to meth. The effect is as bad as being addicted to drugs. You just, I mean, it's a horrible thing that's being foisted on our young kids, and I'm sure glad my kid, it wouldn't be allowed in my house, I'll say that. When we live one block from IWA, Harvard High School, and our daughter went to school there. And this was back in the 70s, I guess. And there were a lot of movies, The Exorcist, movies on possession coming out. And no one, in our house, that is absolutely verboten. Nobody could watch it. We wouldn't watch it. And we were talking about it one day, and our daughter, Patty, said, Daddy, the other day a girl came in the home room, and she said, oh, I was just watching The Exorcist. I'm possessed. And she said a nun came over and slapped her. You get away with that in the Catholic school. The nun depossessed her real quickly. And I heartily approve. A lot of cases of possession are self-induced. And that's why I advise people stay away from Ouija boards, stay away from things that you think you understand but you really don't, because you can open yourselves up to some really bad phenomena, and it's better to stay away from that. So we start mental house cleaning by learning to control our speech. And the first thing we want to eliminate, and these are words, phrases, statements, I can't. Eliminate I can't. And replace it with I haven't yet, or I'm learning. And I still remember two ladies, 2 consecutive classes, 2 different ladies came in to take the training right after each other, one in one class, the next month, another in the next class. And they each suffered the same trauma. They each came home one day here in Corpus to find their home burned to the ground. Horrible trauma. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Horrible trauma. Everything was burned. The house was burned. Furnishings were mainly gone. And their family heirlooms, pictures. That's some people's most precious belongings were all gone. And both women each said, I just can't get over it. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. That's the word she says to herself. I can't get over it. I have a friend whose sister-in-law just lost her husband about 6 months ago. And 6 or 7 months ago, she's still deeply, deeply, profoundly grieving. She says, I can't forget him. I can't get over it. Well, if you claim you can't, then you never will. These 2 women who lost their homes were each under psychiatric care or psychological care, trying to handle the trauma. Said, I can't get over it. So I told them both, I said, is a lot still there where your house was? And one of them said, yeah. And I said, well, go back over there and kick around in the dirt and find some ashes.